Hey, Viking fans, day one of training camp is in the books. Let's talk about it now in three, two, one. Gather around, Skull Brothers and Sisters. This is Skull World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can find me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. Make sure you hit like, give me 50 likes. That pushes this video. That's the sweet spot. Let's go. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment too. I want to hear what your thoughts are about the Minnesota Vikings. Anytime, anywhere, any place. I want to hear it and I'll try to reply. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thank you. I came off last night, had a great time on the live chat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all your support last night. I appreciate it. It warmed my heart. Let's go. Um, let's talk about day one of Vikings training camp. There was a video out there. I suggest you go check it out of Alexander Madison making a diving grab from Kirk Cousins, threading the needle between two defenders. It was pretty good. Go check that out. But the interviews were great. Addison held himself a class. Yeah, he did. He with professionalism. That's the word I was looking at for. Didn't want to talk about any of the legal matters. He's holding the company line. He says they were mad at him, but they're showing support. Other players showing support. I don't think players care what players do outside of the field, off the field, as much. As long as no one was hurt, that kind of thing. So I think he's learning it. Justin Jefferson said he was taken under his wing by Adam Thielen, and he's trying to do the same thing with Jordan Addison. So I think we got a good clubhouse. We know that. Nothing but a good group of guys, a family. We know that this is, and it was that way with Zimmer too. Almost played well in spite of him. It's just good to know that we got that kind of group. It's just really good, and I think we'll overcome it. Now, one of the cool things I saw coming out of camp, Brian Flores was asked certain players, known to be intelligent, and he's like, I put more weight on. Can he make plays? Can he hit? Can he cover the field? Can he do those things? I put a little more weight into that. So that leads me to believe that he's going after the best players, put them in the best positions. That's what I'm getting out of Brian Flores, which honestly is a welcome change over Ed Donatel. We all know that. We got Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. He's talking about he had a 3-year plan, wanted to build as we go. He wanted to be competitive as we build. He says he knows that statistically more improbable of breaking it all down and building it all up again. But that's the way they wanted to do it. And that's the way it's been. Honestly, the things he did in the offseason as far as free agents go and building this team, I think it was amazing. We're a little light in some positions, but that's where year 3 comes in. That's where year 3 comes in. I had our window as this year being our best year, but now that seeing what Kwesi has done, and if he extends some people, I think next year with a new draft class, a new free agency, and extending players and is a really good year too. And we have more cap space. So let's talk about day one of training camp. I am, like usual, I love it. Will Raggett's SI.com. He did his recap of day one. Let me bring that up. Vikings training camp recap day one, depth chart notes and early standouts. Training camp is officially underway. Here's what we learned from day one at TCO Performance Center. The Vikings 2023 training camp began in earnest on Wednesday afternoon at the first day of practice under the blistering sun at TCO Performance Center in 90-degree conditions that TJ Hawkinson describes as hot as blank, started with an S. Nearly all the team's 90-man roster took a big step towards the regular season opener, which looms in 46 days. Here's what we learned to day one of this year's Vikings camp. There was no sight of Daniil Hunter, who reported to camp on Tuesday but isn't expected to practice until his contract situation is resolved. Other than that, the only players not practicing full were the three who are currently dealing with injuries: right tackle Brian O'Neill, outside linebacker Andre Carter the second, and outside line O lineman Chris Reed. So, yeah, Brian O'Neill, we kind of expected it might take a while, but gosh, I want him practicing as soon as possible. Andre Carter the second, I think he's a practice squad guy. He's a undrafted free agent out of, I believe, was it Army. Chris Reed, I had high hopes for him. Thought he was going to win the starting right guard job. Was pleasantly surprised Ed Ingram did. But Chris Reed injury kind of leaves the fight for a right guard out of the question. No new injuries were sustained during practice. Pads don't come on until Monday. Depth chart notes on the first day. The most interesting information is always who's getting the reps on which units. In this starting offense, Jalen Naylor was out there over rookie Jordan Addison. Saw that coming. As the third wide receiver, and Oli Udoh filled in for O'Neal at right tackle. Uh, glad we re-signed him. Oli Udoh played well while Brian O'Neill was out. Everyone is obvious. Alexander Madison, TJ Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne, Christian Darrisaw, Ezra Cleveland, Garrett Bradbury, Ed Ingram, CJ Ham also rotated in. So that's normal. And honestly, I'd said Jalen Naylor was ahead of Jordan Addison because he was able to do OTAs and he got to fill in as a starting receiver when Justin Jefferson was not showing up to OTAs. So that makes a whole lot of sense. And honestly, great. I want to see that guy play. You kind of know what Jordan Addison's going to bring, but Jalen Naylor was hurt a lot in college and he was having a great last year of his college career and he broke his hand. So let's go. I want to see that guy. Everybody knows I'm high on him. He was sixth round pick in 2021. And I said he was the best value in the draft for the Minnesota Vikings. I stand by it. The starting defense interestingly looked like this: outside linebackers, D line, Marcus Davenport, Harrison Phillips, Carissa Tongo, and DJ Wanham. That's what it would look like. Not scaring anybody, but there's some good players in there, obviously. Linebackers, Jordan Hicks, Brian Asamoah. Those are only two guys. We do got the free agent we got in the offseason from the Rams. Secondary, Caleb Evans, Byron Murphy Jr., Harrison Smith, Cameron Bynum, Joaquin Williams. So that's what we're looking at as starters. That's a little hard, a little different. With Joaquin Williams and Cameron Bynum. You're hoping to eventually see Lewis Seen and Metellus. That's Murphy in the slot. The most notable, that's Murphy in the slot. The most notable name there is Williams, a former Patriot second round pick who was signed as a free agent this offseason. That's big. Talking about Murphy being nickel, I guess. He said in the slot. So, hey, we might have figured that problem out. Gives another opportunity for one of our rookies to play their natural position. He has 500. Let's see, Williams, a former Patriot second round pick who signed as a free agent this offseason. He has a 552 career defensive snaps under his belt, which is easily second most in Minnesota cornerback room behind Murphy. William has remarkable size and length, 6'3", 212 pounds. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? That'd be cool. That's the biggest guy that's the biggest guy that we have. So at corner, so that's good. In a different grouping, Williams left the field. Murphy moved outside. Makes sense. And Dean Lowry rotated into a 5-man front. Josh Metellus also had plenty of reps with the starters. This is looking that is welcome news. They're really rotating guys in, seeing who's good, giving everybody opportunities. This is great. I hope they do this with the pads on. That's great. I didn't catch the entire second team offense, but it had Nick Mullins at quarterback and quite a few reps for Kenny Nwango at running back. Addison, Josh Oliver, Tristan Jackson, and Jalen Rager were among the pass catchers. Now, Josh Oliver, don't sleep on him, man. Don't sleep on him. Addison, obviously. Tristan Jackson, gamer at Syracuse. He's an NFL receiver for somebody. He is. He is. He might not be a starter. Might be a really good third guy or fourth guy. And Jalen Rager, his only chance is punt return if nobody else can do it. Only chance, I think. With these guys like Blake Brandel, Austin Schlottman, and Vidarian Lowe on the O line, I really hope Vidarian Lowe, man, good kid, good story. Let's go. And he has huge hands, longest arms, just not super athletic, and that's it's a problem, I think. But everything else, man, size and arm length and wingspan, and I don't know, I can't remember what his strength was like, but he looks the part, and hopefully he can come in and be one of our backups at tackle. This was a second team defense to be in 7-on-7s. Outside linebacker Patrick Jones, Jonathan Bullard, Jaquan Roy, Luigi Villian. I was surprised that Patrick Jones wasn't above Wanham, but again, I don't know. Maybe they like Wanham better. In the first team defense, linebackers Troy Dye, Ivan Pace Jr. Nice to see him get in there. And that's one of, 7-on-7 is a passing drill. So Ivan Pace Jr. Um, getting some practice there, needs it. Secondary, Mekhi Blackman, Jalen Williams, Josh Metellus, Lewis Seen, Andrew Booth Jr. I'm really, I've been talking about Mekhi Blackman. I like his spirit, like his attitude, like his feistiness. I think I think he's a little more athletic than Andrew Booth Jr. was, a little more fluid as a player. So I'm actually higher on Mekhi Blackman than I am Andrew Booth Jr. And I listed Andrew Booth Jr. When he got drafted as the third best draft pick as far as value because we got him in the second round. Because I also like TJ Ty Chandler. Uh, but yeah, nice to see Lewis Scenes practicing fully, Andrew Booth Jr. fully, Mekhi Blackman, Jalen Williams. This is great. We got a young secondary, but there's talent there, guys. Someone's gonna pop out. There's gonna be a couple guys, and I like it. Pace and Williams are undrafted rookies, so it's notable to see them already getting run with the twos. Wow. That's true. You probably know there's 90 guys on this roster, dudes. 90 guys on this roster. You probably know about Pace by now, but keep an eye on Williams, who is undersized, speedy slot corner out of Indiana. Veteran Troy Reeder, rotating linebacker. That's who I was talking about. Linebacker we got from the Rams. This guy had 90 tackles in the season before, and he's super athletic and super fast. He ran a sub 4.4 40. Very athletic. 30. I think he's 30 years old. Troy Reeder is a good player, and I'm glad it made me feel better that we got him. It really did. It made me feel better about depth wise, and a guy can defend the pass, and that's good. That's good. Highlights from day one: Naylor was the biggest winner of OTA's mini camp in my eyes, and he continued to stand out on the first day of camp. He had at least 3 catches during sevens. There was no 11-on-11 action today, and continued to get open. Damn. I was music. It's music to my ears, man. Naylor, come on, man. I'm rooting for this guy. I'm contemplating getting my first jersey since Adrian Peterson, and I don't know, Naylor, man, Naylor. Cousins was sharp. He had several great throws over the middle of the field to Osborne, Addison, and Hawkinson. The Addison connection was great, leaning catch from the rookie, and Hawkinson made a nice play to come down with a contested ball that was initially bobbled. The two other quarterbacks also had their moments. Mullins hit Tristan Jackson on a deep ball, which he came down with despite tight coverage from Booth. Rookie Jaron Hall threw a dime down the left side, former XFL star Lucky Jackson. Now let's talk about Jaron Hall. He throws a good deep ball. That is what I liked about him. That's good to hear. He's still doing it. And then his mobile. So he's mobile and he throws a really good deep ball. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but still the deep ball is really good. Something I did not like about Teddy Bridgewater. He could not judge. He could not put the angle, the loft on the ball. He pushed the ball rather than, threw it over the top, which allows the downward action, kind of like when you turn over a punt. He just didn't have it, but Jalen Hall does, and he throws a back shoulder fade. That's his second superpower. So there's a lot of things I like about Jaren Hall. I'm glad he's here. I'm glad we drafted him. But Hall later sailed to pass for the head of Thayer Thomas, whose two QBs will get plenty of reps in the preseason. Bynum, who's still projected to retain a starting job at safety, had a diving pass breakup to force a Rear Cousins incompletion. All right, guys, that's it. That's by Will Raggets, my favorite writer that I read. He's so fair. He very good writer. Good job, SI.com. If you see Will Raggets on Twitter, tag give him my video. I'm always crediting him with everything I read from him. It's awesome. I want him on my show. He's not. I've DM'd him a couple of times. Haven't got anything. All right, Will Raggets, man, good job on this recap. I'm gonna try to keep these going. I love just reacting to recaps. This is the first time I read it. That's what I do. Make sure you hit like. Get me to 50 likes. Make sure you subscribe. Give me some comments. What do you think? Tell me about Jaren Hall. Tell me about Jalen Naylor. I want to know what you think, man. Are you in love with Jalen Naylor as much as I am? Probably not. I'm probably his biggest supporter. All right, Skull Vikings. Cue the music.